Wealth is not created by the clock, it's created by value. Time is a tool, not a transaction. The lie many people have believed is that if they trade enough hours, they'll eventually accumulate enough money. But let me ask you this. If time equaled wealth, wouldn't every hard-working person be a millionaire by now? The truth is, time is only valuable when it is attached to value creation. That means your fastest path to $1 million isn't found in working more hours. It's found in delivering more value within each hour you work. People don't get paid for how long they work. They get paid for how well they solve problems. If someone earns $10 an hour, it means they are delivering $10 of value per hour. If someone earns $10,000 in an hour, it means they've positioned themselves to deliver $10,000 worth of value in that same hour. The hour didn't change. What changed was the value delivered during that hour. So if you want to reach your first million fast, you must stop focusing on your schedule and start focusing on your service. Most people think linearly. They think if they work 40 hours a week for 50 weeks a year and save a portion, maybe in 10 or 20 years they can reach $1 million. That's the slowest, most uncertain way. Why? Because that plan is based on limitation, limited time, limited energy, limited opportunity. But value creation is exponential. When you understand this, you shift your mind from trading hours to creating outcomes. You no longer think about time as your currency. You think about problems as opportunities to generate wealth. The bigger the problem you solve, the more value you deliver. The more value you deliver, the more you earn. That's the real formula. Let's say someone is struggling with a life or death health issue. If you offer them a product or a service that relieves their pain, changes their condition, or gives them hope, how much is that worth? To them, it might be priceless. Now compare that to someone who's sweeping the floor at a grocery store. Both people may work for an hour, but one delivers life-changing transformation and the other delivers basic maintenance. That's not to devalue either role. It's to show that the marketplace pays based on value, not time. This means you must learn how to increase your personal value. That comes from skill development, mindset mastery, and strategic positioning. You must become the kind of person who doesn't just do tasks. You must become a solution carrier. The marketplace pays people who solve painful, urgent, and important problems. If you can solve a painful problem that affects a specific group of people in a specific way and do it better than anyone else, you'll never have to worry about money again. Here's what happens when you start focusing on value. You stop asking, how much can I make? And you start asking, how much can I help? That shift in intention attracts higher paying clients, better partnerships, and greater opportunities. The people who get paid the most are those who create value with clarity, deliver it with excellence, and communicate it with confidence. Most people never make $1 million because they never raise their value. They stay in the same environment, use the same skills, speak to the same crowd, and expect new money to show up. That's not how wealth works. Money is a reward system. It moves toward people who create movement for others. If you want to reach your first million, identify a painful and urgent problem, position yourself as a premium solution, and deliver that solution with consistency and excellence. Don't focus on how much time it takes, focus on how much value you're delivering. Ask yourself, what do I know? What can I do? Or what can I say that someone would gladly pay $10,000 to receive? And if you don't know the answer, your job is to become the person who has that answer. That's how you increase your value. That's how you collapse time. That's how you create wealth. Your $1 million journey isn't a marathon of hours. It's a moment of realization. The moment you understand that value is the seed of wealth, everything changes. You stop looking at the clock and start looking at people. Who are they? What are they struggling with? How can you help them? The faster you answer those questions, the faster you reach your first million. Value is the vehicle, and when you master it, time becomes irrelevant. Most people think they need to build the perfect product, spend months or years developing it, hire a team, build a website, and create every feature imaginable before they ever ask for a sale. That is the slow path. The fast path is the opposite. Sell before you build. The marketplace does not reward effort, it rewards transformation. You don't need a complete product to start earning. You need a compelling promise that solves a real problem and a buyer who believes you can deliver that promise. That's where money begins. Selling before you build is not deception, it's alignment. It forces you to validate your offer in the real world instead of guessing in isolation. You don't build based on fantasy, you build based on feedback. If nobody wants to buy your offer in its raw form, it doesn't matter how fancy your final version is. It's still irrelevant to the market. When you sell before you build, you immediately test three critical elements: desire, trust, and price. Does your market desire what you're offering? Do they trust you enough to pay for it? Will they pay the price you've placed on it? These questions cannot be answered in a journal, a whiteboard session, or even a focus group. They can only be answered when money changes hands. Selling before building gives you that answer instantly. And if the answer is no, you've saved yourself months of wasted work. If the answer is yes, you now have confirmation and confidence and the income to build it even better. Selling before you build also clarifies your message. Most creators try to explain their product with features, tools, specs, and tech. That's not what moves people. People move because of what they want to feel. People buy because they want a transformation. They want the outcome. They don't care how many modules your course has. They care about whether their problem will be solved. When you sell before you build, you're forced to focus your message on outcomes. You don't have a product to hide behind. You must sell the dream, the result, the better version of life that your offer makes possible. That is what opens wallets. High-ticket selling amplifies this principle. When you charge more, you must deliver more clarity. You cannot stumble through your pitch. You must speak directly to a painful, urgent, and important problem. You must show your audience that you understand their situation better than they do. When people feel seen, heard, and understood, they trust you to lead them. That trust is what converts into cash. And the more specific the problem you solve, the more confident you can be in charging premium prices. It's not about greed, it's about value. When someone pays you $10,000, it's because they believe your solution is worth at least $10,001. If you deliver on that promise, everyone wins. Selling before building also creates momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in business. When you make your first sale, your brain rewires. Doubt is replaced by belief. Hesitation is replaced by action. You now have a customer, a result to deliver, and a real reason to execute. Instead of waiting for motivation, you're now fueled by responsibility. That creates urgency, and urgency produces action. Action leads to results, and results bring referrals, testimonials, and recurring revenue. All of it starts with that first sale. Many people delay selling because they fear rejection. But rejection is not a curse. It's a compass. If someone says no, you learn why. You adjust your message, your positioning, or your pricing. Each no brings you closer to a yes. The only way to avoid rejection is to avoid the market. And that's the fastest way to stay broke. Selling before building turns fear into feedback. It gives you the data you need to improve. You don't need 100 sales to validate an idea. Sometimes one sale is all it takes to prove that you're on the right path. Another benefit is cash flow. Most new businesses die because they run out of money before they ever see traction. But when you sell before you build, you're getting paid to create. You're being funded by your customers instead of your savings. That removes stress, increases creativity, and builds loyalty. Your early buyers feel like insiders. They're invested in your success because they help bring it to life. That creates a powerful bond, and loyal buyers become lifelong customers. Selling before building also proves leadership. Leaders go first. They speak with conviction about what they believe is possible. They don't wait for the world to validate them. They validate themselves by making bold offers. If your idea is truly transformational, you owe it to people to offer it boldly. You can build after you've made the promise, but the promise must come first. That's where wealth begins. Don't wait to get it perfect. Make it powerful. Sell the vision, deliver the result, then improve the system. That's how you earn fast, grow fast, and serve with excellence. Ask, speed is the great separator between those who dream and those who earn. Most people think they have a money problem when in reality they have a speed problem. Wealth loves speed. Opportunity moves fast. The longer you wait to act, the longer you delay your reward. The market does not wait for perfection, and neither does success. When you hesitate, someone else dominates. Your delay becomes someone else's deposit. That is why you must learn to execute quickly, adjust in real time, and build as you go. The people who get paid the most are not always the smartest or most talented. They are the ones who move the fastest with what they know and who they know it can serve. Most people are stuck in the cycle of preparation. They study, plan, research, and then start over. But what they are really doing is hiding. They are trying to avoid failure by delaying action. But in doing so, they also avoid success. Action is the only cure for doubt. Motion is the only evidence of belief. If you truly believe in what you have to offer, you will not hesitate to put it in front of people. You will not wait until every detail is perfect. You will speak, you will sell, and you will serve. Speed is not recklessness. Speed is obedience to your calling. It is the refusal to let fear steal your future. When you act with speed, you force results. Speed compresses learning. What takes most people 6 months to figure out, you can learn in 6 days because you are not theorizing, you are testing. You are not guessing, you are gathering data. Action gives you access to the answers that waiting never will. Some people want guarantees before they move. They want full clarity, full control, and full comfort. But that's not how breakthrough works. Breakthrough happens when you step into uncertainty with boldness. You don't need to see the whole path. You only need to take the next step. Speed is about trusting that progress reveals the plan. Every day you wait is a day you delay income, impact, and influence. Speed doesn't mean rushing. It means deciding. Wealth is attracted to decision makers. When you decide quickly and act decisively, you send a message to the world that you are serious. People trust leaders who move with conviction. They are drawn to people who are clear, confident, and committed. Those qualities are not born, they are built through movement. You become confident by showing up. You become committed by following through. You become clear by taking messy action. And when you move with speed, all of these traits grow faster. Speed also creates separation. It sets you apart in a crowded market. While others are still building their funnels, designing their logos, and rewriting their bios, you're already selling, serving, and scaling. The gap between you and the competition widens not because you are better, but because you are faster. Speed gives you first mover advantage. You claim territory that others were too slow to reach. You build momentum while others are still getting ready. And momentum is the greatest asset a business can have. It multiplies effort and magnifies results. Once you have momentum, wealth becomes inevitable. Speed also silences fear. Fear feeds on delay. The longer you wait, the louder your doubts become. But when you move quickly, you outrun hesitation. You don't give fear time to talk you out of your assignment. The most confident people are not those with no fear. They are the ones who moved faster than fear could catch them. Action is a weapon against anxiety. Every step you take forward pushes fear further behind you. That's why speed matters. It's not just about making money. It's about winning the battle in your mind. When you move fast, you also inspire others. Your speed gives people permission to act on their dreams. You become a living example of what's possible. People don't just listen to your message, they feel your momentum. They catch your fire, they follow your energy, and that creates influence, which is more valuable than information. Speed creates stories. Stories create connection. Connection creates community. And from that community flows consistent cash flow. Speed is also stewardship. When you delay action on an idea that can help people, you are withholding value. You are hoarding what was meant to be shared. Speed honors the people who need your solution now, not 6 months from now. It respects the urgency of their pain and responds with urgency of purpose. That's why you must act quickly, not just for your gain, but for their breakthrough. You are not selling products. You are delivering freedom, clarity, and transformation. That should never be delayed. You do not need more time to get to your first million. You need more speed. You need to collapse the gap between idea and implementation. Decide faster, act sooner, adjust smarter. Every delay costs you something. Every moment of hesitation is a moment of lost momentum. The path to your first million is not paved with perfection. It's paved with imperfect, intentional, and immediate action. That is the power of speed. It is not just a tactic. It is a decision to stop waiting, stop doubting, and start creating results now. Money flows in the direction of impact. If you want to make $1 million, the question is not how much can you earn, but how many people can you serve? Wealth is not a product of selfish ambition. It is the reward for selfless contribution. The more people you help, the more problems you solve, the more transformation you create, the more wealth will chase you down. The market does not pay you based on effort. It pays you based on results. And results come from service. When you make your business about other people, about what they may need, about what they feel they desire, you open the floodgates for income to follow. Serving bigger does not mean working harder. It means solving bigger problems for more people at a higher level. It means shifting your focus from individual effort to scalable impact. One-on-one turns into one-to-many. Manual delivery turns into automated systems. Custom solutions turn into repeatable frameworks. You stop thinking like a laborer and start thinking like a leader. You stop trading time and start multiplying transformation. And when you do, your earning capacity expands without limit. The secret is to shift from self-focus to service focus. Most people are obsessed with what they can get. The wealthy are obsessed with what they can give. They ask different questions. Not how can I make money, but how can I create meaning? Not how can I increase profit, but how can I increase power to solve problems? They understand that when they become more valuable to others, money is a natural byproduct. If you serve 10 people, you may earn hundreds. If you serve 100, you may earn thousands. If you serve 1,000, you may earn hundreds of thousands. But if you serve 10,000 or 100,000, now you're operating at the level of millions. The scale of your income reflects the scale of your influence. Serving bigger also means knowing your market deeply. You cannot serve people you do not understand. You must study their pain, their desires, their frustrations, their fears, their dreams. You must be obsessed with their transformation. When you understand your audience better than they understand themselves, you become irreplaceable. People will not only pay you, they will promote you. They will become your evangelists because you didn't just sell them a product, you changed their lives. And people never forget the person who changed their life. You also serve bigger by raising your standards. Excellence is a form of service. When you deliver at a higher level than expected, you stand out. In a world filled with average, excellence becomes a magnet. It attracts attention, builds trust, and commands premium pricing. You don't have to be famous to earn millions. You have to be phenomenal at what you do. You have to be known for your integrity, your delivery, your consistency. When people know you over-deliver, they will overpay. When people know they can count on you, they will come back again and again. Your reputation becomes your marketing. Your service becomes your sales engine. Service at scale also requires systems. You cannot serve thousands with manual labor. You need automation, delegation, and optimization. Systems allow you to show up for more people without burning out. They allow you to maintain quality while increasing quantity. Systems are not just for efficiency. They are for impact. They create consistency in delivery and freedom in operation. With systems, you can serve while you sleep. You can impact lives without being present in the room. That is how you multiply income without multiplying hours. Serving bigger is also a matter of vision. If your vision is only about your next client or your next invoice, your impact will stay small. But if your vision is about changing an industry, transforming a generation, solving a global problem, then your actions align with that scale. You speak differently. You market differently. You show up with more fire, more passion, more purpose. That energy attracts allies, investors, customers, and opportunities. People follow leaders who are driven by a mission bigger than themselves. When your mission is big enough, the money becomes the smallest part of the equation. You do not serve to get rich, you serve to get results. But when the results are big enough, the riches follow. Serving big is not just about business, it's about legacy. It's about making a mark in the world that lasts beyond your lifetime. It's about turning your skills into service and your pain into purpose and your voice into victory for those who need it. Every millionaire who did it fast understood this principle, didn't just sell something, they solved something. They didn't just chase money. They chased meaning, and in doing so, they earned what most people never will. not just wealth, but respect, impact, and influence. To make your first million, expand your vision, increase your value, and enlarge your service. Look for ways to serve at a higher level to more people in more powerful ways, solve problems that matter, deliver results that last, build systems that scale. And always remember, when you serve big, you earn big because money is not the reward. Money is the receipt for the impact you made.